Hi there YouTube, welcome back to another video. Now this is like the third or fourth take of this particular video. It's things keep happening. I keep coughing or sneezing, yeah, it's just not happening. So hopefully this take will work out and we'll actually get a video. Basically these three chaps here really mark the true end to my revisit to Third Corps project. These are the missing command for the 3rd Cavalry Division. I think I've mentioned it in the last sort of couple of videos, that for some reason when I originally created the Cavalry Corps, and I think it was like the first Cavalry Corps that I actually had done since I'd got into Napoleonics, I guess that I was a little bit of a noob and didn't really understand how to read the orders of battle properly, and for some reason I only had I suppose I got tricked because it's such a small division. I suppose perhaps I got tricked into thinking it was more of a brigade rather than a division, and because I also managed to miss out the artillery. However, probably a year later, I'd added the artillery. I'd added obviously I had the command figure, which obviously wasn't this chap. I think he was like an infantry colonel, and obviously these two chaps, or the brigade commanders, had been omitted. So it was really nice to remember that I had these chaps missing. I think the original commander basically got salvaged and turned into a regimental colonel. Because obviously the figure was basically an infantry colonel, so I basically it's 3 fresh command figures done to my regular style now, which of course is on the 60mm round bases. So these are the 3 chaps that I ended up choosing. We have a front rank chap here. I've actually had that guy sitting around for a while. He's been probably in my spares box since I finished my last French Cavalry Division, when I was doing my Imperial Guard project as well. So I knew immediately that he was basically going to be the divisional commander. For the 2 brigade commanders, it was a little bit ironic that I'd actually picked up an ADC pack from Perry's because of this particular figure here. And also the second figure, which I ended up actually swapping over for this chap. Now originally this chap here was going to be on my Van Damme's command base, and the guy that was going to be the 2nd Brigade commander ended up being swapped out for him. So he ended up on my command base, and this chap ended up becoming a brigade commander for the 3rd Cavalry Division. So let's get straight on. I'll give you a closer look at them. So here we have the division commander. Let's give you the blurb. This chap is General of Division Baron Jean Simon Domon of the 3rd Cavalry Division. And this is obviously the front rank command figure, very regal looking. Quite easy to paint actually. Front rank figures are basically fitted on their saddle. So as soon as you stick this guy to the horse, you're basically using up a massive chunk of his body, and also the fact that this guy's got a massive cloak on. You're also saving time painting the rear end of his shabrack as well. So this guy, funnily enough, paints up really quickly. But it's a beautiful figure. I think I've got one of these chaps in my 2nd Cavalry Division that I did, which I think was the 11th. It's such a regal figure, and definitely a good cavalry commander figure. So that is the divisional commander. Then we have the 2 brigade commanders. Now these 2 particular brigade commanders were actually slightly lower rank in the fact that they were what's called a Marshal de Camp, which is basically straight up general. and not your average general or brigade, which is actually a rank higher. This is a chap for the 1st Brigade, and the 1st Brigade is made up of 2 units of Chasseurs Cheval, so it's the 4th and the 9th regiments, and yeah, this is, I think it's a Perry's figure, possibly staff officer pack. I can't really remember, but it's a really nice figure. Like I said, I originally was going to use this chap on my Van Damme command base. He's basically going to be sort of like riding past the general and sort of saluting him. But obviously plans changed, and I thought he'd make a nice brigade commander for the 1st Brigade of the 3rd Cavalry Division. So there he is on his quite a nice Chestnut Horse. And the base is done with my usual style, so it's basically the horse is super glued to the base, and then Daz clay is built up around the base to make it flat. And there's sometimes a little bit of height in the terrain, but in this particular one it's quite flat. And then of course the usual grass and my flock mixture, and of course some shrubbery and stuff with these again these cool sort of brushy reeds that came in my Warlord mystery box, which are really cool. Actually, I think they look so cool when they're sort of bunched up together. So that is the brigade commander for the first brigade. For the 2nd Brigade, we have this chap here. Now, I chose, when I was sort of looking for a command figure, I really wanted to get one that was kind of still in sort of like regular cavalry gear, rather than in an actual proper general's uniform. And like I say, when I was sort of looking, I came across the ADC pack, and this chap was in it. And I thought, you know what, this guy would make a really cool sort of cavalry brigade commander, and plus the fact that he's actually a Marshal de Camp and not a actual general brigade. You know, I could possibly get away with this guy being in his sort of cavalry uniform, and the way that I painted him up is I've painted him up as if he's been promoted, but he's more or less just still in the same uniform. And this chap is actually in the colours of the I think it's the 9th Chasseurs Cheval, which is part of the 1st Brigade. The 2nd Brigade of this division is actually just made up of a single unit of Chasseurs Cheval, the 12th, which I think have scarlet facings. I could possibly be wrong, and my whole idea has gone to pot because I haven't got the cavalry in front of me. But that was the idea anyway, that this chap perhaps had been promoted from being a colonel, and more or less decided to pomp up his normal uniform rather than actually being able to get hold of a proper general's blue jacket. It's probably historically incorrect, but I think it's just quite a nice narrative to have a different command figure, really. And you can see that he's got his sort of elite company cold pack on, and he's quite a sort of a regal figure. I did actually carve off the armband, the aide-de-camp armband, and I think he's a really cool figure, and I think he's fit for the job. Just to make a little bit of a difference, and you can see that he again is on a Chestnut Horse, but one with perhaps a little more of some rare markings of this big white patch on his butt, and a slightly tipped white tail, and of course a misshapen white blotch on his face, which covers one eye. Because obviously horses that have these sort of patches tend to have, you know, sort of a general horse might have a white marking down its head and perhaps 1 or 2 white socks on its hooves, but a horse that would have a big white patch like that, and possibly, and obviously white in his tail or white on his ear, probably have a bigger marking than an average horse, or at least that's what I've sort of figured out anyway. So yeah, that's the the 2nd Brigade Commander, and let's give you the names on these guys, we didn't actually forget. So there's only surnames for these chaps, but the 1st Brigade is a Baron Dominé, Marshal de Camp Baron Dominé, and this chap is Marshal de Camp Baron Vinot. So there you have it. So like I say, these 3 chaps mark the end of my 3rd Corps project. Now, I did mention that I'd probably go into a few ideas I've got about how I'm actually going to show the actual Corps off, because it's basically, I think it's going to cause some trouble, because it's literally so big that there's going to be really no easy way of being able to do a decent video on it. It's either going to be a sort of a one of those horrid shaky cam flyovers, which will probably last about 5 minutes, and which to me, and the amount of work that I've actually put into this project, I mean, just the revisit part has taken 7 months, and I think the original 13 battalions, including the cavalry, probably took the best part of a year. So you're talking the best part of over 2 years worth of work, basically culminating in a 5-minute blurry video of a camera flying over the tops of a table full of troops, and it not really fulfilling the basic purpose of my channel, which was to document in detail my figures. Now, I know a lot of you guys aren't fans of watching long videos, but I think there's basically going to be no other way of being able to do this. I think it would just be, I mean, for me personally, to put that much time into a project and just do a 5-minute video on it, it's just sacrilege. It's got to be, it's got to be of a certain length, I think. There's just no way of getting around it. So I think what I'm probably going to do is, I think I'm going to do 2 versions. A kind of flyover video, where I basically would just go through it, you know, maybe point out each division and the regiments that are in it. So you know, so it's basically not going to be a 5-minute flyover video, but it might be a sort of 10 or 15-minute slower paced flyover video. And then I thought for a second video, to satisfy my needs more than probably a lot of my subscribers and viewers, is a lot slower paced go through of the entire Corps, with a little bit more closer in detail looks at the regiments, and basically going through each of the commanding officers, and perhaps throwing in a little bit of historical tidbits here and there, as sort of as I go along. And now I'm not, obviously I can't really predict exactly how long that's going to be, but something probably tells me this, but you're probably looking at maybe 30-40 minute mark probably. It might not be that long, but certainly 30-minute mark I would have thought. Even if you're going through it at a pace, I think it would still, there's just the sheer amount of troops would probably still warrant that sort of amount of time. So again, they're just ideas in my head, but that's my sort of idea at the moment. It might take me quite a bit of time to actually sort this out. I mean, I think I'm going to struggle just actually getting these guys into the other room for starters. Then I have to basically just, well, I suppose I'll put a mat on the table and start setting it up. I think just setting it up is going to take a fair amount of time, and probably setting it, packing it away again is probably going to take even more time. So it's going to be quite a mammoth task. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Big thank you to everyone who has subscribed to me. I've actually just managed to break the 500 mark. Now I did actually break it a couple of weeks ago for like the period of like probably 10 hours, where I sort of went to 500, and then I kind of went back three subscribers, and then over the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks it's been going up and down, and it kind of settled at 498 for like a week, and then just out of the blue yesterday, boom, it just shot up to 501. It's kind of stayed there. So whether it's going to shoot back down again, who knows? But it's nice to actually have broken that barrier at the moment. I think 501 is probably not a safe enough barrier to actually say that I've actually properly made it yet, because YouTube seems to be a bit odd about its, my subscription levels again. It's really odd. But anyway, fingers crossed that it is, and hopefully I think I should get community posts abilities up. So I'll probably wait until maybe I'm around 510 or so until I actually properly announce it. Yeah, a big thank you to everyone who's sort of following me and subscribed. It's quite a big stepping stone for. I mean, I know my channel was probably quite niche. It's certainly not as I'm certainly no professional videographer, that's for sure, and I'm certainly not the best video narrative chap either. But like I say, they do their job, which is to basically just show off what I've painted and probably a little bit of blurb. And yeah, anyway, that's the end of this way overly long video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all in the next one, which is going to be a real big one. So until then, catch you all later. Bye bye.